This week's episode of Still Untitled is brought to you by VMware. So have you ever been watching a movie and gone, well, why didn't they just fix the problem like that? Of course, then there probably wouldn't be a movie. But tech pioneer VMware said, screw it, we're going to turn this idea into a podcast. So they dropped a couple of IT guys into classic science fiction movies like Star Wars, The Matrix, Terminator, to plug the technology plot holes. Clever and funny. It's called IT is Greater Than Sci-Fi, and you can listen to it at vmware.com/radius/sci-fi or download it from iTunes. Today's episode is also brought to you by Video Blocks. Video Blocks offers a great value with an unlimited download model. Choose from a library of over 115,000 HD video clips, After Effects templates, motion backgrounds, and cinemagraphs. Audio Blocks also has over 130,000 music tracks, sound effects, and loops. On average, subscribers pay less than $1 per download over the course of a year. And they're continuously adding new content to the library so it stays fresh. Everything is 100% royalty-free, even if a subscription is canceled, and you have unrestricted usage rights for personal or commercial projects, and those rights never go away. You keep what you download. Now, Video Blocks is offering listeners of this podcast a year's subscription to both Video Blocks and Audio Blocks for just $149. That's $100 discounted for our listeners only. Get your subscription today at videoblocks.com/stilluntitled2016. That's right. That's videoblocks.com/stilluntitled2016 for this exclusive offer. Now on with the show. Welcome to Still Untitled, the Adam Savage podcast. I'm Norm.
I'm Adam.
I'm Simone.
Wow. Nicely done, Norm.
A different arrangement. I had to think for a second and it got through it.
You had to put yourself in your other voice.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Still
Good
Untitled
morning.
voice.
I know. We were just talking about ASMR.
Oh, so what is ASMR?
It's this bizarre phenomenon. I don't really know what it is. I just think these videos, it's of people speaking really faintly and just like a lot of mouth sounds and like plastics folding. It's just sounds, and people use it as a way to fall asleep. So
Or relaxing. Like it's a phenomenon where some people, their brains are very receptive to very comforting sounds, like the sounds of small whispers or popping, bubble wrap. And there's a whole, if you search YouTube, there's a whole genre of people who make these videos.
And it's really like when you watch it, it's like really, it's comforting in some way. It's also really unsettling. But I think what it does is it gives this like false, or it gives this like feeling of intimacy because you're you feel like you're so close to this person that they're kind of whispering into your ear.
Anyway, have you been having trouble falling asleep?
I haven't actually. Last night I slept really poorly, but no. Otherwise, no. I fell asleep.
I just
fine.
want to feel something in life, anything through sound.
Norm goes dark.
How's marriage treat? No.
And we were also talking about how freaking cold it is here today. It is. When I went to get coffee, I came home and changed my jacket because it's 46 degrees outside, which. I know. I know. Where
7
you are,
degrees
it's
Celsius.
a lot freaking colder. But in San Francisco, 46 degrees is a noteworthy cold.
Yeah.
And this is Fahrenheit.
This is Fahrenheit. Yeah.
Just let us whine. Please.
So this is our first time getting together. First time for you on the podcast and well, Simone. But we just had Thanksgiving.
Wait,
first time
in a while.
Oh,
in a while.
In a while, Simone.
I don't think
But we just had Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was very.
How did you guys celebrate
our
it?
American holiday.
It was. I asked my American friends that I celebrated with, "Am I an American girl now?" Just like Pinocchio. Am I a real girl now? But no, it was nice. I celebrated with some of my like the swing community, so some of the people that I dance with. So we were just like playing music. I was playing the washboard, which I've never done before. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. We were just singing and eating food. And
I didn't know you did swing. Is this the swing community that's the Golden Gate Park swing dancing?
Yeah, it's at different locations. That's one of the events.
Amazing.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got my ass whooped in ping pong to the extent that I almost, because like I was playing like nicely with one of my friends and we were like, yeah, it was fun. And then my friend's dad played with me and he completely crushed me to the extent where I kind of want to cry.
Are you a good ping pong player?
No, like I've lived in China.
I
have some moves.
Right?
I have some moves, but no, I'm definitely not. I mean, I'm not a great ping pong player in any way. He was pretty great, but it was just like he just like crushed me in a way that I felt when I was a kid and I lost in a game, and it was just like not fun because usually I'm a pretty good loser. But
there's different kinds of players. Willie Mosconi is a famous pool player from the early part of the 20th century, and one of the things he said was, it's not about winning; it's about breaking your opponent's spirit.
No,
yes,
that's the meanest thing I've ever heard.
The other thing he was famous for saying in pool, like golf, you can handicap your opponent if you guys are of unequal skills. So you would call that spotting. So if you're playing a game of straight pool to 50 points, you can spot your opponent 10 points if they're slightly less proficient than you, and say the first one of us to 50 wins, but you already start with 10 points.
No
right?
handicapping.
Willie Mosconi said, if you want to be a champion at pool, you got to be willing to spot your grandmother 49 points in a race to 50, and then you've got to beat her.
But your grandmother.
Right, no, that's what he's talking about.
That's
that
ego.
killer,
Yeah.
that
The
killer,
killer
ego,
instinct.
yeah.
spirit, man.
Wow. I mean, that's in that scenario, you're playing 49. You're got to sink 49 of the
Before
balls,
you're even,
right?
yeah.
And so it's about it's not just about winning. It's about the
But
duration.
It's the
The
duration.
crushing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's waiting for. Yeah, no. This is why I was never ever going to be a truly great pool player. I just
'Cause you're too nice?
I lacked that killer spirit.
Are you a worse winner or worse loser?
I have been in the past and not a great loser. I am a much better loser now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've worked
Didn't
hard
answer
on
the
that.
question.
Didn't answer the question. Are you a good winner though?
I am a fine winner.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't gloat. I don't taunt. I don't laud.
Yeah. I'm like a pretty good loser. I'm a horrible winner though. I get so smug. I can't stop laughing and just be so pleased with
Hilarious.
myself. Yeah, it even makes me hate myself and then I just think about how other people see me.
In a random tangent, when you mentioned ping pong, it made me think the best ping pong player I saw recently was on the Icebreaker ship. They had a ping pong
right.
table there, and it was a ping pong table tethered to the ground, like with like 7 large pieces of rope tying it in the middle to the ground. But the Russians who ran the ship, they would work out in the gym late at night, and they would be killer.
They knew
Really?
ping pong.
They knew their ping pong
Wow.
on the uneasy surface. Yeah.
On Metafilter recently, I came across a post about all sites. There we go. Here we go. Metafilter. I came across a ping pong site that was pretty amazing, and it's called, where is it? Pong Finity.
Pong Finity.
Pong Finity. That is a lovely Mission District making
Yeah.
its morning
Yes.
sounds.
Oh, good morning.
So yeah, Pong Finity is a website of people doing impossible things with ping pong balls, like opening up bottles of Coke from across the room by putting enough spin on the ping pong ball that it hits a cap with enough spin to kind of give it that last twist to knock it off the top.
Now, is it that like internet video thing where they did that 1,000 times and are just showing the one success?
Look,
But
it's
it's
certainly...
not-
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm wondering, are you talking about the Tumba Ping Pong Show? Because there was like this YouTube channel that started going viral like 2 years back where they do all these like crazy tricks with ping pong. And it's actually some of my Swedish friends who run it.
Oh.
But they do.
I think this is
It's-
more... Pongfinity seems to be a compendium of a lot of these.
Yeah.
And it certainly might be that they're trying 25 times. But, I mean, there are some things they do with spin where one of them hits the ball with so much spin it goes across the net, hits, and then literally, like, follows a specific path around the table.
But isn't all that just freaking fake?
No, I don't think so.
I'm not
It's all Snapchat
mentioning any
magic.
names,
Well-
but people I know.
Look, when we talk about
Right.
fake, there's two kinds of fake. There's, is it CG? And my answer to that is, I think, steadfastly no. And the other question is it fake because they took 1,000 tries and only showed
it's
a
not
successful
fake.
one? That's not fake.
Yeah,
That's
not
something
fake.
else.
That's
And
proper.
the repeat visitors you say, the people you keep seeing in these videos, clearly they're amazing. And there are some tournament hits, like one guy returns a ping pong volley from below the level of the table, and the ping pong ball crawls up and just touches the corner of the table and then goes back down.
Amazing.
I mean, this is
level of spin. Yeah, and we had the Summer Olympics this year, I believe, and one of the best things come out of that was photos of competitive ping pong players as they would take these high, like, telephoto lens zoomed in as the ball goes right up to their faces and their intense look of their faces as they would about to smack the ball. Yeah.
I can't get enough of those photos of tennis players in the middle of hits, their faces all contorted, and the text is something like
Yeah, it's kind of like dogs catching balls in high speed.
And coincidentally, did you know today they were recording this is the anniversary of Pong?
What?
Pong
How
came
did you
out.
store? Oh, how did you store that piece of information in your brain?
Norm is this segue king. That might be your finest one ever.
I heard it on the
you
radio
dropped
this morning.
that. We've been talking about ping pong for 5 minutes, and you dropped that
he
now.
drops that.
Pong.
Incredible. So I had a
Happy
version
birthday,
of Pong. I played Pong when it first came out. I bought a copy I bought a version of Pong at a garage sale. And Pong is one of the few early games that it is impossible to properly emulate.
Yes, because it's so tied to the hardware that it runs on.
So the Pong isn't coded in software.
It's
Pong's
in
operation is hardware.
How does that even?
It uses the nature of the electronics that construct the game to initiate the behaviors of the game instead of code that gives it instruction.
It's like when computer scientists made out of oscilloscopes, like games out of
Right,
scientific equipment. Yeah.
So I had Pong, and I would play it late at night in my room. My parents let me have this black and white TV in my room, and my mom opens the door. I'm like 15, and I'm just there, boop, 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 for hours, and she comes in, and of course, kids are really good at this. Like, covers with a blanket and everything's on, pretend to be sleeping. And she's like, "Are you playing Pong?" I'm like, "What? No."
Yeah.
That's such an innocent thing that she thought. She's like, that you're playing Pong. You could have been doing much worse things when you were 15 alone in your bedroom.
That was as bad as it got for me.
My God.
Pong was the euphemism.
Wild, Adam. Wow.
Yeah.
Really wild.
Those electronic balls.
Yeah,
back
we
and
got a
forth.
wild one over here. Contain
I was
yourself.
the least amount of trouble of any kid.
Yeah, your mom was like wiping her brow, like, "Oh, I got a good one."
Me
Scared
too.
him. Yeah.
I was the most boring teenager of all time. I just wanted to be home and study. I loved
even.
school. Yeah, I loved school.
I certainly wasn't studying.
No, I was studying my butt off for no apparent reason. But yeah.
Well, Pong, I believe they have a machine at the Computer History Museum, which I want to give a shout out to. So
wonderful
that's
museum.
a great
I still
museum.
haven't been there.
It's in Sunnyvale, which actually is where it's in Santa Clara, but Sunnyvale is where the first Pong machine debuted.
Didn't Woz had a part in the early Pong.
I think so. I'm not
really?
exactly sure.
It's not surprising.
But how did you spend your Thanksgiving, Adam?
I went down to Los Angeles. My sister lives down there. We were down on the west side. We did a little B&B or Airbnb or VRBO. I can't remember which one. And stayed in a lovely place just a block from the beach in Venice.
Oh, cool.
And we had a lovely, lovely time. I saw Arrival.
Oh, you did?
How did you like it?
So this is fascinating. There was 6 of us watching Arrival. I'm not going to give any spoilers,
Yes.
but we'll talk about it.
Yes, we will.
People die. Do they? I haven't watched it.
Oh, well,
Probably.
any movie, people die. Yeah.
Yeah.
People
It's a
die.
safe spoiler.
People die. 6 people went to see it. 6 members of my family. 6 completely different opinions. I mean,
Really?
radically, not like, I liked it, I didn't. It was like, I liked this and I didn't like that. I mean, I loved it. I thought that there was just one character thing that didn't quite mesh with me, but for the most part, I really dug it. One of the smartest movies in years, and thank goodness someone like Denis Villeneuve is making smart science fiction, and boy is he the right person to take Blade Runner on, which is what he's doing right now.
What I've said always about his films, and his oeuvre is getting bigger and diverse, is he loves giving you a gut punch.
Yep.
And some part in the film,
Did you get any gut punches?
Yeah, no, there's definitely some parts that I got weepy at. I'm a crier. I found it really moving. And so we were down in LA. We had a lovely Thanksgiving dinner. My mom was there, my 82-year-old mom, who none of us can keep up with. She is just a lightning bolt. And I went to LACMA, the LA County Museum of Art, where I went to see the Guillermo exhibit, only to find out that it was sold out. So I went again. So I went to LACMA twice.
Wait, they sell out of you can
Yeah,
sell out
so
of tickets
LACMA
for
has
an exhibit?
LACMA ends up with exhibits that are so popular you actually have to reserve a ticket and a time to go see.
Oh, wow.
So that happened with the Kubrick show.
All right.
You had to buy a reserved ticket. There's a rain room there. I don't know if you know about the rain room at LACMA. Well, it's only open. It's only there until the end of the year. It's pretty amazing. It's like this 40 by 40 foot square room that is black, and it is raining from the ceiling, like heavy, big, fat drops of rain. And the floor is like this big grate, so the rain collects and it doesn't make the floor wet. And you walk through, and there are sensors, and you walk slowly, and it doesn't rain on you.
It doesn't rain on you.
That is so cool.
It's really amazing. And by the way,
How many people can go through it at once?
It's about like 15 or so.
Okay.
So it still feels very intimate, and wherever you look is rain. So if you're standing next to someone and they're like 5 feet away, there's rain between you and them, but around you there's no rain.
That is.
Can you combine spaces and create a bubble?
Totally. So there's only so many they can have it there at once. This is
Lovely.
an exhibit that was. I will send you a photo. I have some slow-mos. This was built for the Apple slow-mo photo mode because you see the drops, and the lighting is such that the drops are really bright. It is absolutely gorgeous. I tweeted some photos from it, and the Guillermo exhibit, I managed to catch it on its last day. So I go to LA like once a week, and then for the last 2 months, not at all. So it was great. I caught it on the last day. It's a beautiful exhibit. It is. So I don't know if you know, Guillermo Del Toro, the filmmaker, released a bunch of art from his collection. So I'd say maybe only 30% was pieces of stuff and ephemera from Guillermo's films. But there's a lot of super beautiful original artwork, original Mobius's, original Edward Gorey, original Drew Struzan stuff, artwork that he found inspiring, books and volumes and automata that he had purchased.
It's from his cave.
Beautiful sculptures from Mike Hill. Yeah, these are all from his man cave, which is down in L.A., and it's a giant mansion filled with his collection, which he calls Bleak House. And I've been to Bleak House a few times, and this was a lovely look at it. And LACMA also pulled out pieces like Goya's from their permanent collection to intersperse them among his collection, and it layered in this extra depth of the kind of things that Guillermo finds inspiring and puts into the iconography of his film.
I just think it's such a different level when you exhibit your own art collection at a museum. That's just like, you've made it. You haven't only made it, you've made it like you're way ahead of all of us. Yeah.
It's like you're a guest curator, but it's all your stuff.
It's all your stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to open up my living room and make that into an art exhibit.
The one thing I was curious about was somebody had tweeted to me, a couple people had sent me photos of, he's got a mecha hand from Hellboy there, and I couldn't quite tell from the photos people had sent me if he was exhibiting the mecha hand that I made and gave him, or if the one on exhibit was the original, and it turned out it was the original, built by Mike Elizalde and the amazing people at Spectral Motion. So he had, that was a terrific exhibit. It was really, really lovely to go through. Obviously, I ran into a lot of fans in that exhibit. I got to talk to a lot of people who love Tested. Hey, I'm giving you a shout out. Oh, there's my compressor going. That's my compressor. It's muffled. That's the quiet mode.
Oh, wow.
I can't even tell you how much I love hearing, I love Tested. That people are actually watching this and getting inspired. And we just put up a photo gallery of builds that people have put up, inspired by stuff that we've done on Tested, sorting methods and projects that people are working on. It's really exciting. So it was all in all a fantastic trip to Los Angeles.
Sounds like a good long holiday.
Frankly, look, most people in the rest of the country don't realize, but there's this rivalry between San Francisco and Los Angeles that Los Angeles doesn't really know about. Am I
You're
right?
saying we have a chip on our shoulder?
Yeah, I'm saying San Francisco has a check out. Most San Franciscans are like, oh, LA, I hate LA. And I'm just here to say, LA is a gorgeous, beautiful, vibrant, wonderful city. I love both cities for totally different reasons. You're not.
Yeah.
Listen, LA isn't a city that has a kind of. It doesn't have an architectural focus. It's way too big for that. Like New York and Chicago, Philly, San Francisco all have very architecturally focused downtowns in different areas. LA is much more spread out. I agree. But I think culturally it's a very vital and vibrant city. That's to be sure.
I will say that. I mean, every time I've been in LA, I've had a lot of fun. Like, it's a really fun city to be in. But
it's not about living there.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want to live there.
Oh, no, I will at some point.
Yeah?
Totally. Absolutely.
No, don't leave us, Adam. What?
I'm never getting rid of my San Francisco spaces.
You're leaving us for Joey?
No. Joey and I have an announcement to make.
We're moving in together.
We're creating a family.
Very good.
Thank you.
That's Joey's last name for people out there.
I never realized his last name was Family until we were checking into the Four Seasons in Budapest.
What?
And she was like, Mr. Family is already here. And I'm like,
I
Family?
haven't thought about that. What?
Boom! Blew your mind.
Oh, what a good last name.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So we found we talked about this, but Joey was telling us when he travels, when he gets home after lots of travel. This is good because you've been traveling a lot too.
Yeah.
How he downregulates is he makes pasta. He hand rolls and cuts pasta in his kitchen. Yeah. He's a big old cook, and I had no
Joey
idea.
Family
Yeah.
making
Makes his own pasta from
yeah.
scratch. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good way to come down.
Absolutely. Since we've last spoken, I interviewed Francis Coppola at
the Castro Theater.
Theater.
Yes, how
You
was
were at
that?
that?
No, I didn't go. No.
Oh,
I
it
missed
was terrific.
Yeah, it's for a new book.
So Francis Coppola, when he first heard that he might direct The Godfather, he bought a copy of the book and he read it and he made notes in the margins. Then when he got the job to direct The Godfather, he took that book, sliced out every page of the book, pasted it into the middle of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, or A4 to Europeans.
Thanks.
And put it in a binder, and he started to add typewritten pages about how these scenes might play out, moods, tones, inspirations, and pitfalls. And then in the end, he ended up directing the movie from this tome that was 700 pages, and it's perfectly reproduced in this book called The Godfather Diary. Godfather Diary?
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong. It's been a week and a half. It is an incredible book. It's you actually, when you read through it, you're actually seeing the Godfather coming to life on the page in the different types of pen and pencil and colored inks. When Sonny gets shot, spoiler alert.
If that's a spoiler alert to you, you deserve to be spoiled.
Exactly. When Sonny gets killed, in the very first note he makes on it, he writes, oh no, not Sonny. When Michael shoots Sollozzo and the police captain, Coppola writes, a red mist of blood. And sure enough, in the film, there it is. It's like the first impression he has of how the scene should play out, and it's there in black and white. It's just a gorgeous book. And he's a lovely talker. I think I asked 5 questions in
all stories.
75 minutes, and he just had story after story.
Wow.
But it's such an amazing thing to see the inner workings of people's brains. I mean, it's the same with your sketches when you do costumes and seeing what you actually do, and kind of because you only get to see the end product, but actually seeing the working that goes into it.
It's really, it's very illuminating, and you feel. It's why I like releasing the drawings and tweeting pictures of the drawings, because it's inclusive. You get to see that there were problems to solve, and there was a point of there were many points of uncertainty. That really helps, because you look at your favorite people's output, and it's easy to feel way overawed.
Yeah.
But by the way, Coppola, when he directed Godfather, 29 years old.
What?
Overachiever.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh, she's holding herself.
The
People who have their
clock's
own
ticking.
people who have their own art exhibits.
Okay, hold
directing
on.
The
hold on.
Godfather. I'm
I-
26.
I know.
I just learned
collect
how
the
to.
late bloomers. So let me tell you, Raymond Chandler didn't write a word until he was in his mid 40s. Charles Bukowski, I don't think was published until his mid 40s. There's lots of
okay.
Louise
There's plenty
Bourgeois,
of
I think a
time.
late bloomer. There are lots of late bloomers out there. We're not all Jimi Hendrix.
But one could wish.
One
but
could
that's
wish.
yeah, and it's always when you watch these documentaries of like child geniuses, and you just feel so bad. You're
Yeah.
like disappointed in yourself. Why am I not that way?
Well, it's all version. So my mom used to. She did her junior year in college. This is in the 50s. Abroad. She did her junior year at Smith in France, in Paris. And one of the things she did while she was living for a year in Paris was she au paired a French family, and she was the au pair for their 2 young children. And she said the most amazing and annoying thing about French children is at 2.5 years old, they speak French better than you ever
oh
will.
gosh, yeah, that's terrifying.
And judgy, too.
Yeah.
Are you making French people jokes?
No, man. I just like imagining the perfect French child, 2.5.
Oh, but it is
Judgy.
really nerve-wracking. Yeah. Kids.
Simone, since we had you on the podcast last, you traveled. You went back to Sweden. You came
You were
back.
gone for a month.
And
I was in Scotland,
Scotland.
Sweden, England, Germany.
What
And
did you
you-
do?
yeah.
What did you do in Scotland?
I walked up mountains. No, it was going to be this like sibling retreat. I have an older brother and an older sister, and we rented a cabin in the woods, and
Oh,
we're just
lovely.
going to hang out in like a national park. But it was going to be a week-long trip, and I had to cut it 4 days short because I had to go back to Sweden to shoot a commercial.
Oh.
Had to.
I had
I
to. Well, you
signed a contract.
Yeah.
So it was. I felt really terrible. It was just like.
You drew them to Scotland and then you left. Them
Yeah,
there.
I was like, I'm going to show you that I'm still dedicated to being
Family.
we're friends and family. Sorry, I'll have to bail.
Gotta go.
But it was really nice. Scotland is so beautiful.
Scotland is as
never
advertised.
It was mad. Yeah, it was. It really did not disappoint.
Where
And,
were you? Northern Scotland?
So we were in. Oh my God, my head is blanking. It was like an hour outside of Edinburgh.
Okay, north.
But yeah,
south.
yeah. In Queen Elizabeth National Park. Is
Oh.
that something? And
Scotland's
a big
tiny,
national,
by the way.
Yeah,
you
a
can
big
drive the
national
length
park
of the
anywhere.
country in a couple of days.
Yeah, it was. But it was really mind blowing. Yeah, a lot of sheep.
A lot of sheep
So much sheep.
and
yeah.
very, very narrow roads. I found the 2-lane. Maybe that's all over Europe, but I found driving on the other side of the road in Scotland on those narrow roads where 18-wheelers are heading towards you.
Yeah.
On
And
what
it's still
would be
max speed.
A footpath in the United States
Oh,
is
no thanks.
terrifying.
It is a bit of a mindfuck when they drive on the, but they don't say we drive on the right
Yeah.
side of the road, but they
Right.
drive on the correct side of the road.
Right.
Hey, so Germany. What were you doing in Germany?
In Germany, I was on 2 TV shows. One that was called the Luke Show, one that was called the Elton Show. And it was such a surprising thing. I was in Cologne, and I was going to be there for 4 days, and I was like, this is just going to suck because it was just during the evening time, and I'd spent a lot of time alone in hotel rooms, and you just like walk around the city, but it grows old very quick. But then I met this super cool girl named Laura Kampf. So I just tweeted that I was in Cologne, and one of our mutual followers said like, hey, you should hang out. So she's also like a maker YouTuber, and she was just like, come and hang out at my workshop. So I was building for 2 days straight with her, and we built
Awesome.
2 different projects
No
together.
way.
Yeah. So
Did
we
you
did
film?
like, yeah, we filmed one video for
She's
her channel. So we did a, like how I always say this wrong. Donkeys. Donkeys?
Yeah.
Donkeys. Donkeys. How there's like this cartoon about a donkey having a fishing rod with a carrot on the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that, but for her dog, and with a sausage. So we
Like a
made like
harness?
this whole harness and a little sausage suspension, which was a really fun project to build. And then we also built the Pussy Grabs back
Yeah.
machine.
Oh, yeah, good. So I didn't realize that was part of that build. Awesome.
Yeah, it was so much fun, and it was just nice because I'd been on the move for almost a month, and just being able to be in a workshop and actually get to build some things was really
Indeed.
nice. Yeah, it's like pasta. for me, like making pasta.
No, I know. During one of our trips, I did the math, by the way. I've flown almost 130,000 miles this year.
No,
This
no,
year?
that's
This year. This is the
what's the
Circumference of the Earth.
thanks.
From Budapest, London, all through the United States, and to New Zealand and Australia. So
I think it's more than the circumference of the Earth.
Yeah, it needs
Multiple
yeah.
times.
And I wonder how many times.
the diameter, the circumference of the Earth is about
can you Google
22,000
this?
miles.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, so
5 times
mhm.
around
Wow.
the Earth.
Good job.
Anyway, so one of the times I got back on a Sunday afternoon, and Monday morning I woke up and I got up and my wife was like, "You're just going to the shop? You're just getting up and going. You got back last night. You're going to the shop." And I'm like, "Baby, I haven't got my hands dirty in a month." I think I told the story on the podcast already. Anyway, that's how
That's a good way to come down.
down-regulate, too.
Yeah. Down regulate.
Isn't that a good term?
Yeah, it's important. Yeah, it's important.
I organize.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I haven't been home for like a week, everything needs to be reorganized.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love reorganizing.
Pulling everything out,
Yep.
putting it back in.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did this in the shop yesterday. I built a new back wall shelf that that supplies all my sanders
It
with
looks
what
great.
they need.
Yeah. Good job.
And that was
Yeah.
but
Norm.
post Thanksgiving. Norm.
What did you do?
Oh,
for
I was
Thanksgiving?
in Indianapolis. I experienced America.
Yeah.
America.
How was America? How is America
America's very
doing?
pleasant.
Is
Very
it
pleasant.
great
Also
again?
cold.
Is it great again?
I don't know if it was ever stopped being great, but
When did it stop?
well, I can tell you a couple weeks ago. But yeah, it was. I was in Indianapolis meeting my wife's family for Thanksgiving, and it was great. It was. I'll tell you this: houses are massive in
Yeah.
the Midwest.
Yeah, man.
Never knew there were front yards bigger than the square footage of the actual house itself. Like,
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Did you feel that you'd be willing to move to the Midwest for that trade-off?
Every time I travel, I don't know if you do this too, Adam, but every time I travel, I wonder, could I live here?
Oh, I do
Yeah,
that everywhere I
me
go.
too.
Everywhere
could
I
I
go.
live here?
Yeah.
And then I love walking through downtown, and there's like real estate companies. I always look at the windows and take and look at prices of houses. What can you get? What? That's how much that costs
You're
here.
such a grown-up.
So much fun to do that
Yeah.
in London, where I found out that for $4.5 million you can have 1,800 square feet of house.
Quite the catch.
Yes.
I've had a couple of cities where I felt, oh, I could live here. One of them, interestingly, is Cleveland. Every time I go to Cleveland, I think, this is a great city. This is a city with real soul, and I just love it. The other one is Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh,
One of the most beautiful little towns I have ever been to.
yeah.
Cleveland. Cleveland is my fake American city.
What do you mean?
Whenever I tell, sometimes just for the fuck of it, I tell people that I'm American, and
they
when
can't
they
tell.
ask me where I come from, I say Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, nice.
Do you have like Cleveland facts that you can
I know
drop?
that there's a statue. That's as far as I've got
That's
it.
a pretty good bet for any city.
Yeah.
Simone.
Yeah, you see that statue? Yeah, I've seen it
I'm-
too.
You know, I live near the
Live
statue.
right by it.
Let's not talk about the past. Let's talk about today. Yeah.
Yeah,
I put that
I don't
behind
wanna-
me.
Yeah, it's traumatic. Miss it a lot.
It's been a month since Halloween, hasn't it? Almost.
Yeah.
It's been
Oh,
almost
yeah.
a month since
Oh, yeah.
Halloween.
And
Yeah.
since my birthday,
Since
That's
your
right.
birthday,
Yeah.
happy birthday.
thank you. Thank
Totoro
you.
still lives in my living room. He makes me happy
Yeah?
every morning.
Does he make the rest of your family happy too?
He does.
Yeah?
He does. I've had
He's
figures
such a
that stand in the living room.
huggable.
Yeah, no, I know. I went and hugged him just the other day.
It's good.
It's really good.
Yeah. Do you store a lot of your things at home?
No, that my wife is very pleased that the clutter is here.
Yeah.
This is where it belongs. But occasionally she'll ask for. So she specifically was like, "Totoro lives in the living room, right?" And I was
Oh,
like, "Yes,
that's so nice.
absolutely."
Yeah. That's so nice. Yeah, I just got a male mannequin in my living room, and it's actually surprisingly unnerving.
Yeah,
It
no,
freaks me out.
Yeah, no, totally. I've had figures in my living room that every time you walk by, holy crap, you jump.
Yeah. It's really terrifying because it's so lifelike, and
Yeah.
it just takes it's your brain really processes it as a stranger and as
Totally.
another person. Yeah.
So, you working on a project with a male mannequin?
I am. That sounded a lot worse.
I didn't mean that to have any inflection to it.
No,
we
no,
have
no.
some great
Sorry.
conversations in the office about body parts and mannequin parts that we may need to buy for projects.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, where can we get a fake butt? Or
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you should talk to me
It's
about
tricky.
that because you should talk to me because number one, I'm actually like Alamo Draft House reached out to me the other day and said, "Do you have a mannequin we could borrow?" And I said, "I've got a mannequin you can have." I hate mannequins.
Yeah, they're kind of terrifying.
They all suck in terms of holding up heavy costumes.
Yeah, okay.
That's the problem I have with
Yeah,
them.
but it was funny. I actually talked to Carrie Byron about hands.
Oh, mannequin
and
hands.
plastic hands.
Yeah.
And she was like, Simone, I know a great store on Folsom Street where you can get hands. And they're in all different kinds of hand positions. And I was like,
It's a family show. Mr. S. Leathers. Yes,
the name
You
drop
know
it
my-
specifically
I did.
on Folsom and 6th.
special discount.
Name
Adam
drop
Savage.
that.
Really? So you
10%
hung
off.
out with Carrie for a day and that came up?
No, we actually hung out a fair bit. So we
Okay.
hosted Google Science Fair together, and she was so nice and like drove
Carrie's-
me back and forth. Yeah, she was super kind.
She's
but,
the best.
But we were stuck in traffic for a lot of
Oh,
hours.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she was so sweet. Like first time I met her, she gave me this like pair of earrings that she and her daughter had made for me, and she
Oh,
was just
Stella Ruby.
she's such a darling. Yeah.
Yeah, love Carrie. I can't wait to their White Rabbit project
Yes.
airs very soon.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
the
trailer for it
trailer.
on Netflix, so please check that out.
I'm very excited about it. I can't wait to see what those guys have been working on. I really I kind of know because I know a good portion of their crew and I know them, but I have tried to remain mostly ignorant of the plot of this show because I wanna be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun. That's exciting.
This has been a somewhat laconic. I think we got to wrap this.
I know. It's just like it's catch
A
up.
somewhat laconic
Yeah.
kind of podcast.
Yeah. I do want to give a shout out. Will's not here this week, but he does have his Kickstarter still going. So please check it out. You can search Foo VR on Kickstarter. I think he's really close to his goal. So it'd be great if you can
That's
help him
awesome.
out. And we'll be doing projects all this week. Lots of stuff going on.
One other shout out. I tweeted earlier this week, my friend Ken Plume is doing a fundraiser for some surgery that he needs. Go check it out. Give him $5, give him $10. Ken is literally one of the sweetest humans alive. And this is really important to him. And he's a very brave guy. So help him out.
Awesome. And thanks, Simone, for joining us.
Thank
I'm
you,
sure
Simone.
We'll have you
What?
back
Now you make me
on
feel like a guest.
sooner.
Gosh, thank you so much for stopping by. What? I'm a part of the crew. Don't alienate me like
we
this,
don't mean to
Norm.
alienate you. It's been very lovely to have you on the
Yeah,
podcast where
it's
you are
great
not
to be on
normally
the
sitting on the
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So next week you're on the podcast. Next week Simone will also be here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. And then I can tell the story of when I was on Mythbusters.
Wait, what?
Oh my God, that's a great teaser.
Great. You got to come back next week.
Next week Simone will tell the story of when she was on Mythbusters and I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.